So our brain doesn't know the difference between real threat and imagined threat. It doesn't know the difference between whether I honestly and authentically am connected with what I'm believing or doing, or whether it's something that is coming from the unconscious. So let me give you an example. If I smile, if I do a Chester cat, and I do this, I don't feel happy in the moment. Maybe I'm feeling really angry and upset. But the fact that I smiled tells my brain that I'm happy, even though I know I'm not happy. Like my conscious brain recognizes I'm not happy. My emotions recognize I'm not happy. But the muscles will tell my brain, hey, we're happy. So then it unleashes or lets out those positive chemicals. So do this with me for a second. Just smile, Chester cat. You may have noticed that you had an immediate lift inside you. You might have giggled a little, thinking, "Oh, that was really funny," but you did experience a little lift. That is because when we put our body in that motion, it releases that. Well, the opposite is true too. And one of the things that I'm preparing for my TED Talk is to talk about the neuroscience of shame. And what we find is that when my survival brain recognizes that there's danger, it says, uh-oh, something is dangerous in my environment, my mind is going to seek out to gather all the information on how I am in danger. And it's going to do that often by personalizing the story. I'm in danger, uh-oh, it's because of me, I did something. And the second you personalize it, our body, our brain is hardwired to curl up. Okay, so I go, oh, it's me, curl up. Well, the action of just curling up mimics a shame response. And so, like a reflex, you experience shame, the emotion of shame. And it's automatic. All of a sudden, all the chemicals come pouring out that's attached with that shame emotion, and you now have a shamed state of being. Doesn't matter if you consciously don't feel ashamed, emotionally, you don't feel ashamed, but your body is going to say, we feel shame. And then you're going to hear it in your head and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, and something's wrong with me. And there you go in that vicious loop. So the physical gesture of pulling back and retreating is going to activate that chemical release, just like the Chester cat does. So whether you smile, or you frown, or you get sad, your face and the muscles in it is going to tell your brain what chemicals to put out there. So knowing this, be gracious with yourself for the negative emotional experience you're feeling. If you find that you're concerned, you're frowning, you're scowling, or you're walking down and kind of defeated, this is just going to happen, whether you want it to or not. That's just the beauty of the survival brain. But we can use it intentionally to lift our spirits. So as you're going through this time that's really, really challenging, put a smile on your face. Now you know I don't feel like smiling right now, but I'm going to smile, and it's going to help balance those chemicals that we're going through right now during this challenging time. So I hope that made sense to you, and we can demystify some of the chemical experiences we have in life and take the stigma out of our human experience. Take the stigma out of shame. Take the stigma out of mental health. Because a lot of what we experience is not our fault. It's not due to our childhood necessarily, our relationship with our mom and dad, some unresolved issue. Let's take, for example, if you get triggered by something you see on social media, a lot of times people will say, oh, you're triggered because it's unresolved, you're not healed. That's not true. Could be. Maybe it is unresolved. It needs to be addressed and looked at. But it also could just be that it was a physical variable, an environmental variable that your brain associated with danger, and it triggered a fight and flight response. It triggered anxiety. It triggered you to say, oh my gosh. And I'm going to stop right here because I'm going to do another video on that. But I hope it's helpful. Smile, Chester cat. Let's all do it. All right. I'm Dr. Shawn Horn.